Master, we are free! And who is this? Can it be that a frail mortal human faced and bested our own seeming Boreas? Ah, but this is no mortal, I see. Boreas always did dance uncomfortably close to the dark art. No, like fools, we waited for his pride. We, and with us all the subjects of the realm of Fairy, do owe you our lives, Source Hunter. I am King Sewer of the Summer Kingdom of Calvia. Brother, alongside... But something changed in Boreas. He grew darker somehow. When our brother called the elemental seats to convene in Heimerheim, when we arrived, however, it was not Boreas who greeted us, but a dark figure. Source Hunter, it would be my sincerest honor. Take this rune and use it to summon me when you're near. I listened closely when I could to Boreas. She gave him us, contained, and in return he gave her access to his great star stone and scores of imps he'd invited.
We best be on our way then. The spring and autumn kingdoms won't rule themselves, you know. We are brought to us soon, Source Hunter.
Champion.
The Winter King has woven ice too rare and powerful for mere fire. I've tried my very best, and will try and try anew. But so far this damnable ice scoffs at my every effort. Sewer, you say? But that is wonderful. Though, for Akara's sake, we ought not...
There she is. The White Witch.
I don't know how long she'll last within that ice.
I wonder what sorcery...
This is your White Witch, then. And you're sure you want to free her, are you? Even our mad but I am in your debt. And I would be remiss not to...
Gods, it's colder than a witch's teat. How very callous of Leandra to inter her only sister in a barren tundra for eternity.
Ikara, you're all right? The ice King Boreas.
And yet not even a frigid hell like this could induce you to put on a...
That honor goes to a pair of talented source hunters, actually.
Then perhaps I ought to address my savior directly. Well, what a motley crew we are. Isn't there somewhere a bit warmer we might discuss matters? Ah, yes, of course, of course. Do pardon me. I didn't mean to Oh, yes, but I hope I haven't disappointed my own hero. Am I just as white and witchy as you'd hoped? First things first, Source Hunter. For my freedom, I owe you every imaginable thank. Now, about the culprits. My corrupted sister and the mad Winter King. When I realized exactly where and to whom Leandra was consigning me, but neither she nor I anticipated the Source Hunter. That was her mistake. I never would have imagined Leandra capable of dealing with the likes of Boreas, but she has changed into someone I hardly recognize. I take no pleasure in the memory of that night. If you've come this far, I trust you've learned that the Counselor was far from a humble civil servant. It's a sordid story, to be perfectly frank. Two sisters. The sparkle in your eye belies your better nature, Source Hunter. Now I know that it is your duty to get to the heart of this. Now that terrible night. One night, as I slept, I had a sudden revelation. No dream, but a vision. My sister Leandra and my lover Zandalor. I didn't understand, but I recognized their location. Syceel's King Crab Inn. I arrived and looked through their window, but inside, everything was wrong. Leandra had fled, and Counselor Jake stood over the wizard, a knife in his hand and hate in his eyes. As I watched, he drove the dagger deep into Zandalor's heart, and I was too late to stop him. In that moment, I broke. I saw before me not a man, not even a beast, but evil incarnate. And I used Source to slay him. On the floor lay Zandalor. In my hands, I held Jake's life force. I had sworn never to use Source, but I couldn't walk away. And so I did the unthinkable. I used the Counselor's life to save Zandalor's. He was alive, but only just. Betrayal. Murder. Source. We were all of us guilty now. If you were any other Source Hunter, I suppose you'd strike me down where I stand after that terrible admission. Fortunately for us both, you are my own little sister, if you can imagine it. She was always the more ambitious, the more exacting of us. And her collusion with King Boreas in imprisoning me here confirms my worst fears. She is planning something far greater than I could have anticipated. For this reason, and with a heavy heart, I hate to extend my own invitation, Source Hunter, but I believe I ought to accompany you to Zigzax's hideout. Both he and you must learn more about the dark. But unless that's a bear flailing through the threads of time, I do believe Master Zigzax...
Hunters, you've done it! Ikara is free! We have much to discuss. Come one and all to the end of time. Ikara, now, if we're done playing hide and seek, let's not waste a jot more time. Oh, I just can't wait to pick your every synapse.
After you, Master Zigzax.
So that's the White Witch, eh? I expected someone a little more evil. I can't say I'd cut her down from a stake, but she sure has fewer horns than I expected.
Here is a woman clearly deserving of respect, Medora. Please, for once, let not your source-addled presumptions cloud your judgment.
We've solved the murder and caught the culprit, yet this case feels anything but closed. We'll have to learn more before we can assess Ikara's true guilt in this matter.
Dear Starstone Commanders, I do apologize. That's right. These red little blighters appeared as out of nowhere when another one of the portals became... I know, but really, they're zany, they're exasperating band of... Why, I never... But talk to them if you must hear their... No, what I need is the sound of a symphony...
No need for shoving now. There's enough of the imp of the year to go around.
Think I could fly straight to
Every year. They don't call me majestic for nothing, dear. Now.
the way up?
What a wonderful place this is. A lovely locale to rest my weary belly. Far better than the hellish plains we imp. No, that hoity-toity historian thinks he's so much better than us demon thrall. Right you are. Grab a drink, sit you down, and let we imps, you see, are a mixed breed of demons and some other... We hail from the realm of Nemesis, where demons have ruled supremes. Now, curiosity may have killed the cat, poor thing, but it enslaved us imps as well. We were blinded by the promise. Yes, well, in hindsight, it wasn't. Here's what happened. In return for our fair share of demonic knowledge, all of us imps had to sign our names, and fools that we were, we readily agreed, and thereby signed our way into slavery. Quite so. That's because one day, a particularly clever imp amongst us devised an escape plan. If we would be able to steal the codex one night, as the demons lay sleeping after a most sordid orgy indeed, we stole the codex and fled from Nemesis, so all we do is run and hide ad nauseam. Eternal fugitives are we. Right you are. Grab a drink. We imps, you see, are a mixed breed of demons, and we hail from the realm of Nemesis. Now, curiosity may have killed the cat, poor thing. Yes, well, then here's what happened. In return for our fair share of demonic fools that we were, we readily agreed. One night, and so all we do is run and hide, and it kind of got lost, to tell you the truth. That's what happens after generations of flight. Things get misplaced. And yet, wherever that bloody book may be, up until now, the demons still haven't found it. So, good news there.
Aren't you going to leap through? I wonder who awaits you in the next...
You know...
I sense an eerie presence here.
Yes.
Yeah. You do not disappoint. I knew... No. You do not disappoint. You have... How thankful. Relent, Guardians. Relent.
I wonder what he meant by that.
And I wonder why we have the thanks of those that long for the end of time.
Expect to find the likes of you here, but you've changed quite considerably, I see. Yes, yourself redone, of course. Your very parts and pieces reorganized into something simply better. My autobiography will hardly serve you. What's far more relevant
I see Master Zigzags has upgraded from his shabby little hut at the edge of the hour. Ha! Is that so? It seems I have my share. Well, I must say, it's no small relief to find myself in a safe haven among such allies. I believe the answer to that begins centuries ago. Ours was a family of born sorcerers, you see. It was in our blood still. Their meekness wouldn't save them from the source hunters. I am. But there is more to our kind than they teach at your academy. Source isn't only blood and madness. It's like we sorcerers are like metal steeples. Source is drawn to us and it flows. But what so many fail to understand is that Source can be controlled. The power... Tell me, Source Hunter, in all your hours, did you ever hear, even once, that some of us were weak and gentle? That we could be simple forest folk healing the sick? No. I doubt also that they'd mention that one day this hunt of yours would birth a broken soul powerful enough to inch... No. No, that would be going too far, and eschewing my own responsibility. They came on a quiet morning. My mother was wild with fright and commanded me to hide. We climbed high into the branches of a nearby tree. The source hunters sauntered away, wiping their blades with pride. From that moment on, everything was different. As we trembled and we would survive, thrive even within those woods, never speaking to outsiders. Leandra's capacity was enormous. Source didn't frighten her, and my sister and I were mired in a solitary existence, witches among the trees when Zandalore came. Leandra especially couldn't leave him be. He was a feast of information, and she wouldn't rest until their days were spent on charms, hexes, and the like. At night, we were a content trio, the three of us, but base impulse. As you know, Leandra and I were soul-forged. But it was me to whom he confessed his love. Her heart broke the moment we announced our new attachment, and I felt the pain of it as sharply as a knife. She fled. My connection to her, our soul forge, grew weaker. It was as though we've a single order of business first and foremost. But first, we must learn more about Leandra's plans. Your journey must begin in the Lacula mines, where she has been accumulating materials and manpower for a purpose as yet unknown. The way will be... A soul forge comes with its own benefits, Source Hunter. Though our connection has weakened, one vision. I had thought it was only a nightmare, but now I see it was her frustrations are rivaled only by her mirth. I can see she's growing closer and closer to achieving something. I believe that our soul forge has been damaged. By what? I can only guess. The fraying of the bond between... What she needs is a hand. My hand, out of this abyss. If our soul forge is repaired, I cannot condone the terrible things she's done, but I can seek to understand them. Without soul... What's more, I sense a terrible force bearing down upon the bond between us. It is hungry, and it consumes ever more of Leanne. If I could only repair the forge... The way may be treacherous, but you must get inside. I fear...
I wonder how much of a spark takes to set human to bake.
Cold, Master Imp. Very, very cold. Close eye.
I'd say hello, but listen to this one. What are you calling him that hasn't got any eyes? And here's one. Hey, that lead.
An affair with your sister?
How can I tell? Maybe you taught him a thing or two about slinking.